Hello, my name is Davik. You are watching a Scion XB 5th gear swap video for 80 miles per hour. So first you want to disconnect your battery. You want to remove your air filter box, which is held down by three 10mm bolts. Removing the battery involves removing an 8mm tie down. Break loose the front left tire nuts. Jack up the entire car. Secure it with little ramps if you have those. Remove the front left tire. Remove the front left side underbody black plastic panels, which are 10mm screws. Remove the transmission drain plug, which is a 24mm. Drain fluid into a pan and move the pan away. Here is the transmission. This is the transmission. It is the transverse transmission, so it's facing sideways.
Plug for the transmission.
That's the drain plug, which is 24mm.
Loosen this. Pour it
Here's
into your
a
oil
catch can, oil pan.
And let it drain.
Break loose 24mm nut.
Yep.
Break it loose, and then remove it. Lefty loosey. Oil shall come out. And then here is another photo of how you want to jack the transmission. You need to have a jack stand or something to hold your transmission. These are wood blocks, so that way you don't scratch or damage your transmission in lowering it. This is some camera angles on seeing how you can position your jack.
So why you didn't bring the
The transmission has two 12mm bolts. You want to remove these two 12mm bolts, which are from the motor mount / trans mount. I would use a 12-inch extension. Break it loose. I'm sorry, it's remove two 14mm bolts from the transmission mount. There are 9 12mm bolts holding the transmission side cover.
That's it.
Here you can see the transmission side cover come down.
These are 12mm. 1, 2.
As you remove the mount,
3.
this side
4,
of the car
5, 6,
will
7,
release
8,
the transmission.
9, I believe. This is one of the top
so
bolts.
there are
Very
two
hard to
bolts
get to.
that are
So
very
use
hard
a
to
swivel.
access, and this is one of them. You need a swivel mount and you need an extension. It's broken loose here. It comes out very easy. Don't forget to spray WD-40 ahead of time.
Hey, you broke it, right? You broke it loose.
Yep.
Just like that.
From above, you have to remove the top bolt.
Okay, go.
Here, my old man is showing you how to get to it. Get a 12mm
Yes.
open wrench or closed wrench, if that's what it's called, and then break it loose.
Good job.
And there it is.
Yes, everything's recording.
A friendly reminder, don't forget to use WD-40 in advance.
Okay, this is where we are.
So now
We have taken out
all
nine
12,
12 millimeter bolts
I'm sorry,
from the transmission
All 9
cover.
of them are 12 millimeter
2
bolts.
from the top.
Now they're all gone.
One
And this is your
accessible
cover.
with a swivel. The other must be accessed from the top with an open wrench. The rest are easy. The next step is to remove the cover with a
This
pry
cover
bar
has to. This
and
cover
then
comes
drop
off
it out.
with a pry
Here
bar.
are several of the 12 millimeter
Here are some of the old bolts.
transmission cover bolts.
Reuse them. You want a pry bar. You want a plastic mallet and a rubber mallet.
Está duro. Apaga, apaga.
Tap at it. Tap the transmission cover as you see fit. From this angle, you can see 2 positions where you can take a punch and a hammer to smash the cover off. To hit it off, I mean.
That's it.
The punch I'm using is an aluminum rod. And there it is. The remainder of the transmission fluid is now draining out. The cover is much more easy to get to now. Make sure it drips into the pan.
Esta vez, para no dañarlo, te hacen así.
Use a wood block and a plastic hammer.
That's it. Y esta la de arriba que está.
And there you have it.
Okay.
The transmission cover is now loose. With the transmission cover, now you have the 5th gears exposed along with the fork and the clutch. Up until this point, it should be relatively easy to get here. Now here is where the fun begins. And this is the cover. Put the cover aside and clean it if you can. Mark the larger of the 2 gears.
Acuérdate que con-
This, what you're looking at, is a clutch. Mark it with this Sharpie or a white marker, a grease marker. The inside and the outside of the clutch face you want to mark. You don't necessarily have to mark the black ring, I don't think so.
Tiene que sacar este clamp.
It's a 10 millimeter bolt holding this fork, which comes out really easy.
I asked for your
This
help,
fork
but you
comes
just
forward,
Don't believe me.
slips out, the black ring comes out. That's the black ring, which is marked.
La marca no quiero que lo toques utilizar.
And this is the clutch. Notice that it's marked. On the clutch, there's a C-clip. Take two jaws, whatever you call these. I forget. Take 2 of these and then pry it off. Here's a flathead and here's a pick. You now have to use the flathead and the pick to remove this bigger C-clip, which is on the face of the same clutch. Very easy. This is a 3-jaw puller. You need one of these. It's essential. Here you can tell how it's mounted. The 3 jaws have their jaws on the back of the clutch. This is a plastic zip tie. You need those jaws held on tightly. This is where it's very crucial, and probably the hardest part of this entire swap, is removing this big outer gear. because you don't have much grip to get behind this clutch. And you're going to find out how we suffered doing this way. You're going to see multiple attempts in removing this outer, bigger fifth gear. This 3-job puller we got from Harbor Freight for $15. It came in a set with a 3-inch one and a 6-inch unit. This is a 6-inch model we're using. Instead of the zip ties, now we're using a clothes hanger. And tying in that clothes hanger, that way we can try to hope that we have the tightest grip on this clutch face. Because what we're going to do is pull off this clutch, off this shaft, which is bored. It's threaded. Pay attention here. You don't want your jaws on the brass ring there. It's a delicate ring, and you don't want those little knobs you see there. You don't want those knobs being gripped on by the jaws. And here you can see the jaws broken. Attempt number 2. This is with another model. This is from AutoZone, this 3-jaw puller. Take a note of how much bite you have, and look, there is not that much bite behind that clutch to remove it. And then here's attempt number 3. This is what you need. We learned that you have to use fire.
La presión.
Towards the clutch face.
Hay que estar regulando constantemente.
By doing this, you will soften the metal and hope that the expanded clutch will slide off much easier. Here you can see us using the torch. And then with the 3rd gear puller, which is a gear puller set that we have owned for a long time, we put it in a vice grip. Then we took a circular disc, and started refining the teeth, or the jaws themselves. But you have to grind some of the jaws in order to get clearance behind that clutch. This is what you have to do. Take a sanding disc or a grinding disc and start cut it into those jaws. Just that much you have to do. Here, I believe the jaws have already been grinded down, and now they have much more grip. Just a friendly reminder how it should be mounted. This time, now we have a metal clamp. Metal tube clamp. So now we're working on a smaller jaw, the smaller, what do you call it? Smaller ring. The smaller 5th gear. And it comes out very easy. It's held down by, I believe, a 27mm bolt. We're using an electric machine here to remove it. Comes out very easy. And with this bolt, it comes off, and then you have to move on to this puller. This is a bearing separator. This is the broken clutch. We finally got the clutch off after many attempts, and in the process, every time we tried to grab onto the back of the clutch, we cracked parts of it off. It broke. Take note of these splines. There's a spot where the splines are missing. I think that's important, but I'm not sure we took note of that. And this is that brass ring. We will be reusing this. And with the clutch off, now the taller of the tall 5th gear comes off easily. Slides right off. There are 2 half moon bearings inside the fifth gear here. We will also be reusing this. However, this top fifth gear will be replaced with the Corolla unit. So here is the bearing separator where we are attaching it behind the lip of the smaller fifth gear. This is a rental. We rented this from... Actually, no, it's not. We bought this on Amazon. Used it once and then we returned it. So yep, you use a bearing separator and then you use one of these T thingies. And there it is. It came off. The small fifth gear. And here you should see how it's held down. Relatively easy. And here's a picture of both gear machines.
Va a alcanzar. ¿A cuántos está agarrando? Uno.
And this is a little bit of a demonstration of what possibly happens if you don't grab it correctly.
Solamente está agarrando ahí.
With such poor clearance, you end up damaging the old clutch if you don't grind down the jaw.
Un poquito por debajo, ahí. Ahí. Si está allí, está agarrando bastante material, pero no el TID nada más.
So you want to grind down the jaw so that you have more of a bite onto that clutch face, onto the rear clutch face. And in the process of removing the clutch, this is the damage that was done to it. We had to order a new clutch. Also, in the process of removing the old clutch, we damaged the threaded shaft. So we had to get a die, I believe.
2, 3.
Can you stop it, Scarlett?
Yep.
Okay, go. And then I'll just edit this.
And the taper. It's a taper. Hacia derecho. Avísame.
It's recording.
Perfil. Te voy a mostrar esto.
There's only one position?
Yeah.
You're moving it too slow, too quickly.
Okay.
Elvis.
Ok, para. Ok.
Okay, it's recording. Just talk if you need to.
Okay. Primero pongo esto. Pongo eso. Pongo eso. Entonces ahora pongo eso. Mira. Ahí. Segundo. Espera. Pues mira. Ok. Ahora. Parte atrás. Este groove tiene que venir acá. Ahí. Ahí pegado. Y entra ahí. Y el otro groove queda ahí atrás del... Listo. Mira. Ok. Entonces fíjate, la...
Just point to it.
Ya, no tengo lapicero. Ok, ahora sí.
Point to that and then point to
Ahí.
the other end.
Y el otro acá.
And then flip it around. To see the other side, the back side.
The same thing. Over here. And over here.
Okay.
Ok, that's it.
Okay, and then which way does it go on?
Esta es la parte de adelante. Este va así. Ok.
So this part here goes that way.
Yeah. Ok. En la ranura. Ahí. ¿Ves? La ranura. La ranura. Ok. Ok, stop. It's going. This is stationary and only the nut is pushing. This is less than 7 tons.
It's moving.
I know. Le he limpiado bien bonito para que entre fácil.
But that's very bizarre, you know?
Why?
I don't know. You ever seen anything like that? They just jam the teeth in.
Víctor Isaac.
What happened? What do you do?
Ya llegué ya.
So what are you gonna do?
Voy a sacar, voy a volver a poner otro spacer. Yeah, I reached at the end. If I can push, I cannot push anymore. Es flash ahora. ¿Has visto? Ok, ahora sí tengo que corregirlo. Listo. Ahí está bien. Ahora sí. ¿Qué número es?
17.
No. 18, ¿para qué diablo me das? Confused, Víctor Isaac. Casi lo daño en la cabeza del... Ok. You know what?
Go.
That's it. That's it, Isaac. ¿O lo saco primero?
Go. Just want to demonstrate this is 10 millimeters. The ring, the fork, and the 10 millimeter.
Víctor Isaac. Atrás de este había un...
At this stage, both gears are on, everything's on tight, and this is the last thing holding it, 7 millimeter. I'm waiting for you.
Oh. Okay, stop.
Use a cloth to clean off the area. There's going to be old sealant paste on this. Be careful not to damage this. It's brittle.
Dios y Jesús, ojalá que alcance, Víctor Isaac. Ojalá que alcance. Ojalá que alcance.
Only this surface?
No, el otro también tiene. Lo que pasa es que no sale con facilidad.
Jesus.
Estás hablando, Víctor, dice no. Hija se cae. That's it. Give me that screw. My hand. My hand. My hand. My hand. My hand. Entonces esta no llega. Okay.
The last bolt is not accessible from the side here, but you can get to it if you put your hand behind it. It's a 12mm, by the way.
Give it to me. Es este tornillo, Víctor, anda, fíjate allá.
It's recording.
Okay, stop.
Recording.
Okay, stop. Stop. ¿Quién me va a decir cuánto falta?
Sigue, I'm watching you. Almost.
How much? Ahí.
Un poco más.
Que no choque.
Okay, stop. Stop.
We should use our impact, but not necessary because it damage the mounting mount. Qué suavecito. That's it. That's it. Hay que limpiar para ver si gotea o no gotea, ¿ya? Si no va a confundir. Vamos a pensar que está goteando.
Go.
Okay, espera, la posición está como 3. Ya, ya. Ok, stop. ¿Con este mismo?
I think so.
1, 2 y 3. No. Espera, otro más. That's it. Okay, yeah. I don't know why it's too tight, Victor Isaac. Are you sure this is the...
Mm-hmm.
Why is too tight the thread? I feel very tight the thread.
Well, I did it in winter last time, so maybe under the temperature I did it temporarily.
Es fuera de frío.
Can I pull it?
Yeah. Very pissed off because I have a German teacher and this stupid guy never believed that impossible. They said you have to prepare it in your mind first what to do.
Don't forget to add oil. 2 of these bottles will help you out.
El sello, ¿no?
There's no washer or anything.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Originalmente no tenía Victor Isaac.
No tenía.
Wait. Show me the thread. Slow. Okay.
Okay, show what I got there.
Apago.
You're not even recording.
Sí, como que no.
No. This is not 10. Don't stop. Just record.
The gun. Down. It's moving. Show me the back.
notch in.
The hole, great. Great. Okay, loose Victor un poquito. My finger doesn't go. Listo. Give me the bracket. The bracket. The bracket is coming looking this way. Give me the nut.